So these are video instructions for part 2 of the lab. I've got my launcher set up here on the table, and I've got a clamp. The clamp is firmly holding this down, but it's not too tight. I don't want this to bend if I over tighten it or make it so hard that it's really hard to take off, so just clamp to the side of the table. Then I want to adjust this to the right angle. So I've got a little protractor over here on the side of it with the string hanging down so I can read the angles. And I will loosen these nuts over here to be able to swing it back and forth. And then I'll tighten them up. Don't over tighten them. You don't need to make them really firm and earthquake proof. Just make them snug on the side of the launcher. So now I'm all set. The launcher's got the right angle. I'll measure all my distances from this point on the launcher. There's a little crosshair right in the middle of what looks like a ball. So when you're measuring down to the floor to figure out how far it's going to travel before it hits the floor, don't measure from the table because it's not a projectile on the table. It's a projectile at this point in space. So that's where you want to measure from. Distance down is measured from that point down to the floor, and the range is measured from that point over horizontally. So everything's about starting there at that little crosshair point in the middle of the ball. So I measure my vertical distance, I do my calculations, and let's say I figure out that it's going to land 50 centimeters away from that mark on the table. So what I'll do is I'll take a ruler, a meter stick actually, and I'll put it so it lines up again with those little crosshairs, and I'll put it over at this point. And I'll have a partner hold the ruler still. Now I don't have a partner, so I'm going to try to balance a weight here just to hold the ruler. There we go. And it's going to go down, and I've got my target paper on the floor, and I'm going to tape it in place when I'm done. Then what I'll do is I'll take my plumb bob, and I'll drop the string down right on the end of the ruler. So if it's going out 50 centimeters, I'll measure that 50 centimeters from the middle, and I'll go out here, the 50 centimeter mark, and drop it down. So what I want is the plumb bob to be in the center of my target paper, and that's where I predict it's going to land. So that's all set up now, and I'll tape it in place with a piece of tape. Now I'll remove the ruler, get everything set. I'll take a piece of carbon paper. Remember, the carbon paper has a dirty side and a clean side. I want the dirty side down so when something hits it, it'll make a mark. And I'm all set. At this point, I call the teacher over. He'll ask if everyone's ready to launch. Everyone agrees, then we'll go ahead and let you launch the ball. Remember, when you're launching the ball, just like before, you put it in the ball and you go down one notch. So I've got the readings on the side. You go down to where it says short range. Just push it down one notch. When everyone's ready and the teacher's there, remember, no shooting before the teacher arrives, no practice shots. Then we'll pull it, let it go, and then we'll see when it comes down where it hits the paper, it'll make a mark. Then I can remove the carbon paper, and I'll see, in this case right here, where it landed. And this will determine your maximum starting grade from there.